When players like Peyton Manning and Jay Cutler went down with injury a year ago, it became evident that teams without a legitimate backup quarterback can become instantly obsolete. So in an offseason that's shown a high premium on the backup quarterback position, Pro Football Weekly's Top 5s takes a look at the top 5 backup quarterbacks in the NFL.
Sean Hill is on my list for sure. Look through his career, never had a season where he threw more picks than touchdowns.
He's got a little mobility, he's a veteran, so he's been around the league for a while.
He's taking care of the ball pretty well. He's a guy that's what you want to see in your backup.
I like that he's been a starter in the league before. I like that he's been productive in Detroit.
He's kind of a confident kid. I like his style. He's tough, he's rugged, and I think he can perform pretty well in almost any kind of offense.
Real solid intangibles, and that's often underrated in a quarterback.
Given the fact that they have so many weapons in that offense, probably makes him look a little bit better.
Throwing the ball to Calvin Johnson can't be that bad.
But as a short-term to kind of interim term sort of type of guy, he's a great guy to have in the lineup, I think.
I've always felt he was pretty good, more so than Dolphins fans probably, who are a little sick of him.
I like Chad Henne a lot. I think he's still got a lot of upside.
He's another kind of guy that coming off the bench in spots and situations, he's not a huge drop-off.
He's had some pretty darn good games in the NFL in his career.
Real good athlete, got a serious, strong arm.
Pretty experienced for a guy who's only in his, fourth season in the NFL.
He can make the throw, so we've seen it. And he's also in a pretty good position in Jacksonville.
If Blaine Gabbert doesn't play, Mike Mularkey has no allegiance to him other than the fact that he was a first-round pick.
The presence of Chad Henne, I think, kind of increases the pressure on Blaine Gabbert.
I think there's a good chance he could get that job at some point this season.
Staying in the AFC South, I think we're talking about upside. He's off the charts.
I'd start Locker week 1. There's no question about it.
The potential is obviously there.
He's got the athleticism. He can make plays outside the pocket.
You like the intangibles a lot.
Got really good leadership skills. They liked that a lot when they were looking to replace Vince Young.
I like the energy he brings off the bench.
And we're talking about a guy who's a top 10 pick. He obviously has the skill set.
When he was in there in limited reps last year, threw with some real conviction. He's got guts. He's a tough kid, good athlete.
To me, this might be a case of a guy who's not a backup for much longer.
I think the future is pretty bright for Jake Locker.
Well, I think he's one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league. In fact, I had him number 1.
I think Jason Campbell's capable of leading somebody to the playoffs.
I think Jason Campbell is an intriguing guy. He's got a really good arm. He's got that escapability.
A lot of starting experience. He's played in a lot of systems.
70 starts under his belt. He's had some success in the league.
And here's a guy who's still generally young.
He's a really smart quarterback. I think he takes care of the ball well.
He's a guy who I think has kind of had a lot of bad luck.
Extremely tough, had a number of big injuries there in Washington.
If you look at his numbers, he actually improved each year with the Redskins, believe it or not.
He was playing really well last year for Oakland until he injured himself.
As a backup, the Bears, the upgrade they made there, I think is almost astronomical.
That's a very nice piece to have in your back pocket, Jason Campbell.
I think he's the best backup quarterback in the league. I think he could start for some teams.
Some people are surprised that he decided to take a backup spot.
And he has won a lot of games in this league, and I think that's the reason why you saw the Cowboys go out and give him a bunch of money. I think that was a smart decision.
I just think he's at his best. He's been better than Jason Campbell. Though they're both starter caliber type guys.
He's another player that has had success as a starter. Could be starting.
He's someone that, to me, you put him in there, you know what you're going to get.
69 starts, 35 and 34 record.
He's really smart. He's always prepared.
Orton's shown that he can throw the ball really well.
I really think his arm action and the fact that he's been so diverse in the NFL in terms of the style of play he's had to play, I like him just a little bit better than Campbell.
Good leader, someone that I think is going to deliver the ball pretty accurately.
There's a reason why the Cowboys paid him so much.
One of the better backups I can think of in recent years that's a strict backup.
They wanted a guy who could be a starting caliber quarterback as their backup, and they paid him as much. I think they made a wise move to do so.
It's a luxury to have Kyle Orton as your backup quarterback.
So Kyle Orton just edges out Jason Campbell to be voted the number 1 backup quarterback in the NFL. We should mention others receiving votes included Tim Tebow and Vince Young. Should they have been on the list? Be sure to send us your response on Twitter. And as always, check us out at ProFootballWeekly.com.